A rich man who got swallowed by a whale wanted to thank the firefighter who saved him, so he donated $5 million and a near-Earth orbit space trip.
I was just doing my job.
Nova has offered to donate $5 million to the LAFD.
The firefighter couldn't believe it. She invited her cop friend to go with her. Also joining them were a young entrepreneur, a former astronaut, the rich man's girlfriend.
Look at this. What is that? Radiation spike. Now, it could be nothing, or it could be the beginnings of a geomagnetic storm. We should scrub the launch.
You want to abort the launch for some potential space weather?
If it's knocking out our satellites, it could cause a chain reaction.
What are the odds, Cody?
That this is a G3 or higher, put it at 43.7%.
Yeah, well, take those odds. We are not aborting the launch. The caterers are already set up. Start the countdown.
Why is this idiot still going through with this?
12. What do you mean?
Noah's warning of a more than 40% chance of a geomagnetic storm.
10.
This meant the whole group might not make it back.
Come on, baby!
Prepare for separation.
Think they made it.
How can you tell?
Luckily, the spacecraft reached near-Earth orbit safely. The people on the ground finally relaxed. But just as they were enjoying weightlessness, the monitoring system found their satellites shutting down one by one because of a geomagnetic storm. The live stream went dark.
Guys? Brace for impact.
A satellite was about to crash into them. They had just arrived in space and already faced 3,000 satellites losing control. Communication with Earth was gone. In space, countless satellites collided like dominoes, turning into debris everywhere. The spacecraft's gyroscope got knocked off balance. Maybe they should try unplugging and replugging something, like restarting a battery.
Geez, where's the damn plug?
Only the young entrepreneur knew tech. He guessed the center column held the modules, but inside the spinning craft, they were like clothes in a washing machine.
Anybody have a screwdriver? Yeah, I got something that should work. It's my Apollo 18 commemorative coin. I always keep it with me.
They make commemorative coins for missions that don't happen?
I had this one made. You got it? Got it.
He fought the spinning, opened the panel, pulled the plug, but the spacecraft spun even faster.
Oh, plug it back in!
He quickly plugged it back in. The rotation finally slowed, but he started gasping and passed out. The firefighter suspected cardiac arrest from the collision. But CPR on Earth might not work the same in space. They needed his heart rate, or CPR could make it worse. The rich man's girlfriend took off her smartwatch. It could monitor heart rate and oxygen. And now the spacecraft had drifted 100 kilometers off course and was still rising. CPR in space wasn't working.
What's his heart rate? No change. This isn't gonna work. His heart needs a shock to reset. We don't have a defibrillator up here. We'll have to go analog. Ow!
It worked. He woke up soon after. Then a new problem. How could they contact Earth?
Is that somebody's phone?
I think it's mine. Hello? Oh my God.
It was their friend on Earth calling through an old satellite phone using an old satellite. Everyone gathered in shock around the sound. Time was running out, so the call was redirected to mission control.
You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, now reseat it.
Done. What now?
Nothing happened?
No?
Maybe we reroute power to the thrusters. Do you see a wire marked interface?
Yeah.
Disconnect that and reconnect it to thrusters.
Done.
In the next moment, the spacecraft started its return sequence.
We're moving! Hallelujah!
Everyone cheered. It was a trip they would never forget, but then...
Oh no.
What's happening?
We got fire!
A fire inside a spacecraft.
It's coming out of the damn vents!
Windows closing.
Okay, don't panic. There's a fire suppression button.
It's on the side of your chair. It's a red button.
Got it. Cover your eyes.
That didn't work! There's gotta be a fire extinguisher somewhere. Check the panels under your seat. Oh, check them all. Got it. That ain't getting it done. We need to vent.
Is now really the time?
Even a fire extinguisher was useless. The firefighter suddenly realized fire needs oxygen. If they depressurize the cabin and let the air out, the fire will die. But first, everyone needed to put on spacesuits fast. They strapped in because once the hatch opened, they could be sucked out. But no matter how hard she pushed, the door wouldn't move.
I've been away!
The fire went out instantly, but now only their suit oxygen remained. They must rely on mission control. Their oxygen, 1 hour left. The former astronaut told everyone to slow their breathing. The satellite phone rang again.
It's her!
No, this is Cammie Raleigh with Nashville Emergency Services.
Am I speaking with the folks on the spaceship?
Yes. Hi, it's us.
Hold, please. Patching you through to Los Angeles.
Is everyone okay?
Yes. The fire is out. We're okay.
Okay. We're gonna get you down this time, and without starting another fire.
But oxygen would only last an hour. Returning to Earth required several hours. The firefighter asked if they were doomed.
But you can keep going up.
She suddenly understood. They could climb to the International Space Station, but it was moving at 27,000 kilometers per hour, was 53 kilometers above them. They needed to speed up and match its orbit. Only the former astronaut had the experience. They would need 26 minutes to reach it, but the ISS wasn't responding. Something was wrong, and their craft couldn't dock with the ISS airlock. They saw the station. The damage was massive.
Oh my God!
Floating outside was an ISS astronaut, already dead. He clipped himself in and slowly floated out. He grabbed the interface port and set up a safety line. Everyone then exited one by one and reached the ISS safely. But inside they found no one.
Is it what I think it is? Blood.
They looked up. A female astronaut floated above them. She was still alive, with bruising near the ribs, likely a lung puncture. They treated her with the med kit, and she woke up to deliver bad news. The ISS was in the middle of a debris field and had already been hit 3 times. It might not survive a 4th. Right then, another impact hit. Everyone was okay, but they only had 44 minutes to escape or die. There was a return capsule, but it held only 4. The former astronaut said they could modify it and add seats, but the capsule was jammed from impact, needed the robotic arm to push it out. The dead astronaut outside had been fixing it when the debris killed him. Someone now had to finish his job. The officer put on the spacesuit and got ready to go out. She carefully moved to the dead astronaut and picked up the repair tools, but the next second, the oxygen regulator on her suit broke. She was about to reach the target spot, but the safety rope wasn't long enough. Then she did something crazy and totally risky. She unlocked her safety rope. While fixing the robotic arm, her breathing got fast. She was clearly running out of oxygen. Her mind was starting to fade. At the last second, she used her final strength to grab the robotic arm tight. Just when the team was preparing to head back, they realized someone had to stay and operate the robotic arm.
Okay, but there's 6 of us.
Yeah, I'm staying behind.
What do you mean?
Why? Someone has to be here to operate the dexter arm, otherwise nobody's going anywhere.
Lewis, you might not survive.
Then again, I might.
Once everything was ready, he activated the robotic arm and separated the return capsule. Right then, the 5th debris storm hit again. His life or death became uncertain. Meanwhile, the return capsule entered its set orbit, but the overload made the surface heat up fast. Normally, it's around 2,000 degrees Celsius, but now the outside temperature had reached 5,000 degrees Celsius. Everyone held their breath.
Hey, they made it.
Not yet.
At this point, the capsule should slow to about 7 meters per second. But even so, they're going to hit the Earth with the force of a head-on collision.
Luckily, they made it. The capsule landed safely. Feeling Earth's gravity again, everyone couldn't help but burst into laughter.
Oh, feels good.